podcast time with YouTube time with Madison Christine. Taking a deep breath, you guys. I am excited to share this with you today around manifestation. And like I say, I share what comes through my own evolution process from within, the deep spirit experience from within. It's been a week of moving and boxes and human exhaustion and spiritual joy all the way. You can have what you ask for and you want, okay? Of course, in spirit is what I always call on. What is my highest? I always ask for what is my highest and the highest of my partner and me and those around me in my life. Because this energy here ripples out, right? And so this podcast, YouTube, whatever we call this, the intention of this is to speak about manifestation. That's a word that can be a loaded gun, just like the word God and all these things. So I'm always somebody who wants to empower whatever word works for you. It just doesn't matter. What matters is the energy, okay? And what that means to you and your unique process of manifestation. So for me, it's always about asking for the highest. Well, it hasn't always been that. I've been learning, I learned the hard way. When we go the ego route, we're going to get shit on. It's not going to be a pretty thing, but we're also going to learn. So you can't go wrong on that level. There is, I believe, a right way, though, of manifesting from the highest place and the deepest place. So all my life I've been looking for peace, but I was just going to say 2 months ago, I had a prayer that came to me. Deep one. I knew it was a big ask, right? And I was asking to have peace in every single cell in my being. What I know from what we ask, what I've learned after years and years and years of doing this deepening work, the deeper, the higher. My therapist always told me that years ago, and she's such a wise woman and full of love, and that has been so true. You always test out what you hear, right? The deeper, the higher. And this prayer was powerful, and I knew it was. I call it this ask was very powerful. I knew that when I was asking for something through spirit, human body, all of these aspects, that there was going to be a call on me being willing to cooperate with that process. When we ask, you guys, it's not just dumped from the sky. We are part of that powerful co-creation, right? And in that, of course, right, after that prayer happened, because I was starting to feel this mediocre buzz. I was starting to watch myself play small in areas, and it was just hurting, whether it was in friendships, relationships, just in life. I was just feeling like, you know what? I can feel better than this. And as we come into our worthiness and our power, right, we can come into more of a place of a very healthy command. Like I'm learning I can command, not demand. That's a very different controlling word. Command is very much in power, in connection, in spirit, clear, direct. And I was like, I can ask for what I want. This is taking years to get into this worthy place. So be patient with yourself. Wherever you are is truly perfect. Because our soul desires are holy. Our soul desires are there because they will be fulfilled at some point, right? There is a timing in spirit that I've learned. And as we learn to surrender, there's that big word, surrender, more peace enters, right? That's been my experience. So I said on that prayer a couple months ago for peace in every cell of my being. Sure enough, nights after, I'm having insomniac evenings, nights, sleeps, not sleeps. For me, that has often meant clearing deep fear and anxiety that was holding me back, keeping me in suffering that didn't need to be, keeping me in victimhood. So, of course, stuff was going to come out. It's like if you choose to commit to a partner and you want a really powerful commitment, stuff is going to come up. you're going to have old insecurities come up, jealousies. You're going to work that stuff out, right? With yourself, with your partner. So when we set out for our greatness, all the things that have kept us from that are inevitably to need to come out, to be vomited out. It's just the way it goes, you guys. We got to make space for our dreams. So it doesn't just fall from the sky. So if you're like, why am I not manifesting? Try to check that part out in yourself. We've got to be willing to step up to the plate and co-create with this God energy, this goddess energy, whatever you call our highest self, that hero in us, okay? So it wasn't an easy couple of months. Like stuff was, sweating in the morning, ready for a nap. But I know how this works. I know how energy works, and it works. When we open and we cooperate, that clearing happens. It might feel like shit for a while, but that clearing happens and beauty happens. I'm not saying you have to manifest from suffering. That's not what I'm saying. But like myself, I've had a history of coming from religion and oh my gosh, all the limited beliefs. And we're in this world that basically worships victims and victimhood and suffering and playing small. So we're all, no matter where we come from, have stuff spiritually to knock out, so to speak, I would say more surrender to. That's a lot easier way. We can grow in pure joy. I just had stuff to clean up. It's like if you had a huge house and garage that had just been accumulating crap from old messages, old abuses, old traumas. We got to tend to that. Recognize that wounded child. Recognize that little boy, that little girl, whatever. Recognize. And that alone opens us up. So, that being said, that prayer happened, right? And then my partner and I are really inspired to go on this just awesome vacation away to Creek, Colorado, a mining town. We'd never been there before. I just saw a picture of it and I said, babe, this is where we're going. My intuition has become a lot sharper as I've been clearing all this stuff out for years. So sure enough, it was freaking incredible. And it was all about, we were all about having the nature experience. So where we stayed and the hikes were just out of this world, way up thousands of feet high. They're terrifying and invigorating, and the blood started rushing. It was like the animal in me was like, oh, and the spirit was all loving it, right? We were like in this party together, and my partner felt the same way. So we were like, we gotta freaking get our asses and live in nature, like really find a space of peace. It's a part of this evolution that we're in and this work that we're doing. And it's all about evolution to me, and love and nature and finding that within ourselves, number one, and then it shows up out there. So I want to tell you this story that just, I'm still so moved, and we're moving. So within a week, okay, this place manifests, and it's an energy, remember. So after that trip to Colorado, we were looking up houses in Colorado because that was what was symbolizing this, right? And I just kept that prayer. I only want the highest for myself, for my love, for those in my life, for everyone that it impacts, because I know here emanates out there, right? Intent of peace, intent of evolution, creativity, freedom. I only want to empower that in others and myself. So we're on this track of Colorado. And the only reason I bring that up is because that's how we're seeing the energy, right? Then I'm keeping open, right? I hear spirit say, stay open. And then I get this nudge, go to your Craigslist and check out Santa Fe. And that's where we've been living, right? In New Mexico. So I'm like, okay, because I felt this joy. When you feel joy, follow it. Joy, peace, follow it. So I go to Craigslist and I see a home that's about 15 miles away from us. It's in a quieter area that I have been in before and loved it. Just a quiet, beautiful, peaceful area. Lots of desert land and spacious land. So I'm like, babe, we got to go to this home and check it out. So we drive over there, and we park, and we already it's this beautiful gravel road, been taken care of. We park, no one's here. It feels like it's been quiet here for quite a while. We step out onto the gravel. There's this lavender and pathway that leads up to the front door, and there's these rocks that say inspiration, love, and peace. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, babe, this place is ours. It is like a peaceful bubble. And I'm a water baby. And one thing I so want to live by, well, I've wanted to live by is like a really beautiful lake or by the ocean. And I'm like, this is the energy of that. Like, it's like a special energy of the land and home. And I was like, whoever was here, it felt like a female spirit that was an artist. I just said that to my partner. And I'm like, the intention in this place, every detail on the land and the inside of the home, just delicious. I've never experienced that before. Seeing a place that resonated like that with such deep peace. And so that was my intuition that night. My partner brought up, it feels like whoever was here might have passed away. And I said, I absolutely had felt that too, but I didn't speak it. So I believe it was the next morning, the morning after that, we have a appointment to meet with the landlord. So we come out here and we meet with her and we ask her who is here. Sure enough, it was a woman who was an artist, an influential artist here in New Mexico, who was a coach and worked. It was all her intention was all about harmony with the inner landscape and the outer landscape. And excuse me. So we're just like, no way. Like, of course, not surprised actually. And then we find out she passed away in June at age 70. So it just solidified, follow your intuition, right? And it was even more powerful. Sorry. Even more powerful is that there was this energy calling us here. We could feel that she was passing on a torch because that is exactly so in cooperation with my own spirit and purpose here and my partner as well. So there's just something so magnetic and so beautiful about the spirit that just passed in June. And there was a feeling that this place was her intimate, right? That she cared for so much. And in order for her to pass to whatever dimensions, she needed to know this was going to be taken care of and passed on. And we instantly got this place, the water going even before we were here. It just felt like, please, and all the colors started coming back and the flowers. So that's a bit fast forwarded though. So we're with the landlord and even she was open to that. I said, listen, this is what we intuited. And in that moment, when we were at the landlord, I said, I'm claiming this place. We're claiming this place. And it was just like, boom, this is it. And we got it on the spot. And you guys, the spirit will move mountains for us when we're in that alignment, that intention. It's just, and the price reduction, okay, the price reduced, you guys, the night after we saw it. And it was like 300 more, 250 more than what we were paying. And then it ended up being the same we were paying when it reduced. So I share the story in joy and inspiration. And we feel that now that we just got in. I mean, we've been moving for days for the last week, and it was all perfectly harmonic the way it all happened and flowed, even though the human self is recovering. But everything flowed perfectly, harmonically, peacefully. And as we had the last 24 hours here, I felt like this woman finally was like, okay, they've got this. I can go, and it's magical. It's magical. I want to share the land with you guys. I'll do podcasts when I can, depending on the lighting. So you ask for what you want, okay? Your desires are holy. They are real, those soul desires. There is timing with spirit. So wherever you are is perfect. Just know how powerful you are. And I'm noticing as I'm doing this, it's a very strange screen, but it doesn't matter. It's all energy, you guys. I just wish you your highest realm of desires. Just know you've got to be a willing participant with that. Be ready for stuff to kick up. Because when we come into our highest, biggest selves, stuff's going to need to release. Just like when we move, we get rid of stuff to make space for the new. So thank you so much. I wish you nothing but peace and joy and whatever you're needing to evolve in your being and your soul. Thank you so much.